Welcome back, deep divers. Today, we're going to take a peek behind the curtain of a world that most people don't get to see.
Ooh, behind the curtain.
Yeah, exactly. It's the world of a university learning designer.
Sounds fascinating.
It is, and it's a lot more involved than you might think.
I bet. I mean, I've taken online courses, but I've never really stopped to think about all the work that goes into creating them.
Right. Like who actually
Wow.
makes those things happen? Well, that's what we're going to explore today.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
We're going to follow a week in the life of Mari Van Wyck. She's a senior learning designer at the University of Pretoria.
University of Pretoria, okay.
Yeah, in South Africa.
Cool.
And let me tell you, her job is anything but boring. The source we're using for this deep dive, by the way, it describes Maury as spreadsheet warrior, Senate approval document wrangler, and conductor of academic chaos.
Wow. That's quite a title.
Right. It really captures the energy and the challenge of her work.
I'm starting to get a sense of just how much she has on her plate.
Yeah, buckle up, because we're talking about accreditation acrobatics, battles with the dreaded blackboard beast, and enough coffee to fuel an entire campus.
I'm ready. Let's dive into Monday with Maury.
Okay, so Monday morning starts, like many of ours do, with coffee and a mountain of emails,
Sounds familiar.
right? But for Mari, it also means tackling the dreaded accreditation drama.
Accreditation drama.
Oh, yeah, it's a thing. We're talking about those all-important Senate and DHET approval documents.
Accreditation. For listeners who aren't familiar with the higher education world, accreditation is kind of a big deal.
It is. Why don't you explain it a little?
Sure. Accreditation is like a seal of approval, a guarantee that the program you're taking meets certain quality standards.
Right. It means your degree will be recognized by employers all over the world.
Exactly. So it's not just a bureaucratic hurdle, it actually matters for students.
And getting that seal of approval, it's no easy feat, let me tell you.
That it's not. What's Mari's role in all this?
Well, the source describes her job as translating all those complex academic ideas into these formal, official documents.
Oh, wow. That sounds like a challenge.
Oh, it is. They even compare it to herding cats, but with deadlines and acronyms.
I can only imagine. And what about this DHET? What is that exactly?
Good point. The DHET is the South African Department of Higher Education and Training. They're the ones who have the final say on whether a program gets approved or not.
The gatekeepers. So Mari has to make sure everything is just right for them.
Yep. By lunchtime on Monday, she's already wrangled 3 program coordinators and reviewed 2 module mappings.
Wow, that's a lot to pack into a morning.
I know, right? I'd be ready for a nap by then, but guess what?
There's more.
Oh, there's always more in Maury's world. Monday afternoon is reserved for a special kind of beast, the blackboard beast.
The blackboard beast, is that like a mythical creature?
Almost. Blackboard is that online platform that many universities use, to keep students and instructors connected.
Oh, right. Yeah, I've definitely used Blackboard before. It had its moments.
It does, doesn't it? Well, Mari spends her Monday afternoons immersed in that world, setting up all the weekly activities, managing assessments, making sure the content flows smoothly.
I bet that's a lot to handle.
It is. The sheer volume of information she deals with is mind-boggling. And, it wouldn't be a true Blackboard experience without a few tech hiccups along the way, right?
Oh, yeah, those can be fun.
Fun is one way to put it. The source mentions that Mari makes peace with at least 2 tech issues every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
Yep. And that's on top of streamlining 3 modules.
Wow, she's like a tech ninja.
She is. And she's not just fixing things, she's also finding ways to make the online learning experience as engaging and effective as possible.
How does she do that?
Well, she uses these things called ID tools for e-learning.
ID tools, what are those?
They're not your average software programs. We're talking about sophisticated tools that allow her to create things like interactive simulations and virtual labs.
Oh, that's cool. So she's not just putting up lecture notes and PowerPoint slides. She's actually creating interactive learning experiences.
Exactly. And that's just Monday and Tuesday. Are you ready for more?
Bring it on. I can't wait to see what else Mari gets up to.
Okay, so Tuesday rolls around, and for Mari, it's Fody Hess Frenzy time.
Fody Frenzy. What in the world is FODE?
Well, FODI stands for the Fully Online Distance Education Symposium.
Okay, a symposium. Makes sense.
Yeah, and Mari's the mastermind behind it all.
So, like, she organizes the whole thing.
Pretty much. She organizes the event, hosts sessions, chairs discussions, you name it, she's doing it.
Wow, that's a lot of responsibility.
Oh, it is, but she handles it like a pro.
I bet. It's really interesting to see how important online and distance education has become, like with this symposium.
It is. This kind of event really highlights that trend. It's making education accessible to people all over the world.
Yeah, no matter where they are, what their circumstances might be.
Exactly. And while Mari's juggling all the FODI's logistics, she's also dealing with presenters, last-minute changes.
Oh, I bet there are always last-minute changes with something like that.
Oh, yeah, always. And, of course, the ever-present threat of tech meltdowns.
Gotta love those.
It's controlled chaos at its finest, let me tell you.
Sounds like it. The source actually mentioned something that I found hilarious about Mari and FODI's.
Oh, what's that?
Well, they said she was drafting her opening speech for the symposium while having an impromptu brainstorming session with her dog.
Wait, brainstorming with her dog?
Yep. I don't know if he got a co-presenter credit, but he was definitely involved.
That's amazing. It just shows how Mari can handle anything, even in the midst of all this FODI's craziness.
She's a true multitasker.
Okay, now hold on to your hats, because Wednesday is what the source calls 9 qualifications day.
9 qualifications? What does that even mean?
It means that on this one day, Mari is managing projects for 9 different postgraduate programs.
9.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Seriously. We're talking about everything from craniofacial orthodontics to development studies.
Wow, that's incredible.
I know. Talk about a diverse workload.
It really shows how much expertise she needs to have, to be able to jump between all these different fields.
Absolutely. The source describes her schedule as looking like a Jackson Pollock painting.
A Jackson Pollock painting.
Yeah, all those colors and lines converging in this whirlwind of activity.
That's a perfect visual. I can totally see it.
Right. And get this. In the middle of all this, she's also mentoring an intern in instructional design.
That's impressive. She's really giving back to the field, helping to train the next generation of learning designers.
It's inspiring. Okay, let's fast forward to Thursday. It's finally a day for Mari to catch her breath and maybe do some research.
A little break in the action.
Well, not quite. You see, Thursday is dedicated to academic publishing. Mari's not just a practitioner, she's also a researcher.
Oh, right. I forgot about that side of her work.
Yeah, she's pushing the boundaries of learning design theory, exploring new ideas and approaches.
It's amazing how she can balance all these different aspects of her work,
I know. It's really impressive. Okay, and then it's back to Blackboard for one final push before the weekends.
Back to the beast.
The source compares her final Blackboard preparations to a maestro conducting the closing notes of a symphony.
I love that image. It really captures that sense of bringing everything together, making sure all the pieces are in place.
Exactly. So there you have it, a whirlwind week in the life of a learning designer.
Wow, I'm exhausted just listening to all that.
Me too. But it's fascinating, right? What really stood out to you, I think what really got me was that image of Mari drafting her FODI's speech while brainstorming with her dog.
Oh yeah, me too. Like, who needs a team of experts when you have a furry friend, right?
She shows you can find those little moments of joy even when you're super busy.
Totally. It's a good reminder for all of us.
It is. And speaking of busy, I was seriously blown away by how much Mari does in a week.
Me too. 9 qualifications day still has me reeling.
Right. It really highlights how much work goes on behind the scenes in online learning.
Absolutely. It's easy to forget about all the people who make it happen,
It's true. There's a whole army of learning designers like Mari out there, making sure those online courses are engaging and well-structured and accessible.
They're like the unsung heroes of online education.
That's a great way to put it. They're kind of like architects designing the learning environment.
I like that analogy.
It makes you wonder, though, what's next for learning designers? What does the future hold for them?
That's a big question. I mean, online learning is constantly evolving, right?
It is. I bet we'll see even more innovative approaches like personalized learning paths or immersive simulations.
Maybe even virtual reality experiences.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think learning designers will be leading the charge, shaping how we learn in the digital world.
Absolutely. It's an exciting time to be in this field.
It is. It's so inspiring to see people like Mari pushing those boundaries, making online education better for everyone.
I agree. And, as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with this thought.
Okay, what's that?
The next time you take an online course, remember there's a learning designer behind it.
That's a good point. They're the ones who put in all that time and effort to create a good learning experience for you.
So take a moment to appreciate their work.
I love it. So next time you're clicking through an online module, think about the thought and creativity that went into it.
You might even find yourself wanting to learn more about learning design itself.
Who knows? Maybe you'll be inspired to join those digital learning pioneers.
That would be amazing.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time, deep divers.